It's no secret, winning the Super Bowl is one of the most challenging feats in all professional sports. NFL teams play a 16-game schedule, leaving them with so little room for error and forcing them to maintain a ridiculously consistent level of performance to even qualify for the postseason. And that's just to get to the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Let alone navigating its single-game elimination format. All it takes is one off game here or a couple of bad calls there, and it can all come crumbling down. Just ask the New Orleans Saints and their fans, who are still complaining about the non-pass interference call from the 2019 NFC Championship game. That is why we see so many great regular season teams and even Super Bowl winning teams fail to repeat. Even if the defending champ does have the good fortune to avoid a Super Bowl hangover and make it to the postseason the following season, all it takes is one other team to get hot at the right time and their Super Bowl dreams can come crashing down. Similar to what happened with the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens in the 2020 NFL playoffs. They ran into an absolute buzzsaw of a Tennessee Titans team that was riding out an unprecedented hot streak. On the other side of the coin, that momentum that a team like Tennessee had really is fickle, which we saw when the Titans ran out of magic in their AFC Championship game against the eventual Super Bowl 54 champion Kansas City Chiefs. But in a single game, anything can happen. And that momentum, coupled with the team's belief in themselves, can completely change the air in the stadium, even if it feels like the result of the game is already a foregone conclusion, which is exactly what we saw during Super Bowl 54 between the Chiefs and the runner-up San Francisco 49ers. San Fran dominated the first three quarters of the game. In the fourth quarter, before the Chiefs sparked their comeback, the 49ers had about a 95% win probability. And if you ask just about anyone watching the game, they would support that sentiment, especially once they saw San Fran push Mahomes and the Chiefs to the brink, trapping them in a brutal 3rd and 15 midway through fourth, especially considering how poorly the Chiefs' young signal caller had looked up to that point in the night. He had already thrown 2 picks, one directly into the arms of the 49ers linebacker Fred Warner, and a second which was a tipped pass as a result of an uncharacteristic throw behind his star wideout Tyreek Hill. And it wasn't just the turnovers either. He underthrew a handful of passes that he normally completes with ease, including one on 2nd and 15 during the play before this fateful 3rd and 15, which was initially ruled a catch before being overturned by a successful challenge from San Fran's head coach Kyle Shanahan. The fact of the matter is that Patrick Mahomes just didn't look right the entire night, and after a pivotal and potentially back-breaking overturn, most other quarterbacks would have given in and succumbed to the fact that it just wasn't their night. But Patrick Mahomes is not just any quarterback, and fortunately for him, the QB had the backing of his head coach Andy Reid, who explained after the game that he knew it was just a matter of time before his star quarterback would get it right. Always think with him, keep firing. I've seen this before. Right when you don't think he's going to do something, he rips your heart out with great plays. You saw that with Larry Bird. Larry Bird might have gone cold for a little bit, but he kept shooting. That's what you do with the great ones. The kid's young, but he's great. He's going to do nothing but get better. This is a sentiment that even Mahomes' teammates echoed, like defensive tackle Chris Jones, who said the following: "We got MVP Pat on our side. We don't care if he throws a damn interception. He always comes back." It's not like Reid was going to pull the former league MVP after a rough start to the game, but still Mahomes had a sense of comfort knowing that the play calling was going to remain collaborative and aggressive regardless of how dire the situation was. Let's just say he made the most of it. And with the weight of the world on his shoulders, comeback kid he did in a truly stunning fashion. It was 3rd and 15 that gave the 49ers' fearsome defensive line an opportunity to pin their ears back and rush Mahomes because it was an obvious passing situation. Mahomes specifically acknowledged the severity of the situation in a post-game interview, saying, "We were in a bad situation, especially with that pass. You knew those guys had their ears pinned back and they were going to be rushing." And that rush usually was successful in these 3rd and long type of situations. In fact, before this play, the 49ers opponents were just 2 for 45 at converting 3rd and 15 or more yards over their past 32 games. So yeah, you could say that the odds weren't exactly in Kansas City's favor on this one.
Don't make me laugh.
But then, as it simply needs to, for a team to pull off a comeback as epic as the one the Chiefs staged in the closing minutes of Super Bowl 54, Mahomes and his favorite deep threat Tyreek Hill stepped up and made a play that will go down in history as one of the great Super Bowl moments of all time. On 3rd and 15 from the Chiefs' own 35-yard line, Mahomes quickly began retreating, anticipating the Niners' pass rush getting in early. While such an aggressive drop back might unnerve some old-school football purists, between the depth of Hill's route and the San Francisco pass rush, it was necessary. Mahomes didn't even release the pass until he was all the way back on the Chiefs' 22-yard line. But once he anticipated Hill was about to make his break, He fired that ball downfield off his back foot, launching it over 57 yards in the air.
I'm going to pause it and show you exactly when he makes this throw. He's going to make that throw. Tyreek Hill's not out of his break yet. We still see him. He's still going to the post here.
Hill only ended up hauling in the lofty pass for a 44-yard gain, and the play completely shifted the momentum of the game.
Hey, if you're running downfield, keep running on this play.
He winds up, he throws a long pass. Damn! Oh, what happened?
So much so that it tanked the 49ers' win probability a full 12% from 95 down to just 82.9.
He turns to come out of it. You got this huge space because the corner is running with the end. And there it is. That's a big 50-yard throw in the air without your feet set.
That number would only get lower as the Chiefs' offense proceeded to convert the opportunity into a touchdown on a rollout 1-yard touchdown pass to Travis Kelce. The Chiefs' work was far from over, though, as they were still down and needed a stop, but the margin was trimmed to a measly 3 points, and there was a different energy around the team now. The KC defense kept it rolling, forcing a quick punt, enabling the offense to take the lead on a 65-yard, 2.5-minute touchdown drive on the following possession. And once KC had the lead, the Chiefs would not look back, as they ended up punching in one more when Damian Williams broke away from a defeated Niners secondary, giving Kansas City a 31-20 lead and ultimately the Super Bowl. If you watch the way that the end of the game played out, it's crazy to think that the Chiefs ever even trailed in the game. They were absolutely firing on all cylinders in the closing minutes of that fourth quarter. But it all started with that one big momentum shift on the 44-yard conversion from Mahomes to Hill. What makes this comeback even more impressive was the energy that was showcased between Mahomes and Reid while they tried to figure out what in the world they were going to do to get out of the predicament that they were in. As the story goes, Mahomes went to Reid and told him that he wanted to run 2-3 jet chip wasp, or as Andy Reid calls it, the wasp, because it puts the stinger on him. The quarterback was confident that the play would be successful because if the offensive line could buy him enough time, it would get the speedy Hill a pretty favorable matchup, which is never easy to find against the stingy San Francisco D. Mahomes explained this after the game, saying, "I just wanted to run it to get it out there and give Tyreek a chance to make a play. How they were playing, I knew it would be Tyreek one-on-one with the safety." He explained after the game that his confidence in the play was inspired by the success he saw running it in the heartbreaking 2019 AFC Championship game loss to the New England Patriots when Hill was able to secure his only catch that game for 42 yards on the exact same play in an equally daunting 3rd and long situation. "It was actually the same play that we ran against New England in the playoffs last year," Mahomes said. "I hit him down the sideline, so we got good protection by the offensive line. They gave me enough time and I put it out there and Tyreek made a great play. It's pretty crazy when you watch the side-by-side of the plays. The routes and the results are nearly identical. It makes sense though, with Hill's blazing speed and Mahomes' insane arm talent, the play is nearly indefensible if the protection holds up because of how it's designed. The offense lines up in a 3-by-1 formation in this instance with Sammy Watkins wide left, Hill on the inside and arguably the team's second best receiver, tight end Travis Kelce between Hill and the offensive line. On the opposite end of the field, backup tight end Blake Bell was the lone receiving target. All 4 of the receivers run routes angled towards the right side of the field, and once Hill spots the safety's hips turn, he bows out towards the empty pocket on the near sideline. What makes the play even more epic is that the Chiefs actually ran the exact same formation in the first half, with 3 of the receivers running the exact same route, except during the first half, Hill stays the course running a post route. By doing this, they were able to set up the late-game heroics, because Niners safety Jimmy Ward was already anticipating Hill to try and burn him down the middle of the field again.
Hey, Jimmy, stay in the middle of the field no matter what.
There's a reason that Andy Reid has long been considered an offensive genius around the league. But it isn't just his ability to dial up the X's and O's that makes him so special as a coach. It's his leadership ability. The guys that play for Reid love him and respect him. They know that everything he does is in the best interest of the team. Something that was proven in an anecdote that one of the members of the Chiefs training staff, Rick Burkholder, who has a long-standing relationship with Coach Reid, told the reporters after the game. So it is 10 degrees outside the Wednesday before the AFC title game, and Andy tells the team practice will be outside, Burkholder said. They don't flinch. They figured there must be a reason for it, I guess. Of course, it probably helped that Reid later confessed to the guys that he was joking, and the team practiced indoors as they usually would have in that situation. But the fact remains that they were willing to do whatever Reid told them because they wholeheartedly believed in his message as a coach. And that is what makes moments like this, third and forever play, possible. Having a head coach and quarterback with such a healthy working relationship allows them to cohesively plan and adapt for big-time moments. almost as one entity, maximizing the results of Reid's offensive genius and Mahomes' generational talent. Will the Chiefs end up forming the next great NFL dynasty? Who's to say? There were plenty of folks who expected Aaron Rodgers to run up multiple rings after he took home the Lombardi Trophy from Super Bowl 45 in just his third year as a starter. Yet here we are a decade later and he hasn't even made it back to the Super Bowl since. So only time will tell. But what I am sure of is the Chiefs' third and forever play, which ignited their insane fourth quarter comeback, will go down as one of the all-time best plays in Super Bowl history.
Do we have time to run walls?
If you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do that by clicking the subscribe button down below. If you like the video, then like the video. We'd really appreciate it. And last but not least, don't forget to tune in to TPS every single day for more cool videos. We'll see you guys and gals next time.